Hey.
Married to music.
That's that intro.
That is that intro.
Tune in every Monday.
That is my voice on the intro.
Who is that?
We
That's
tryna get our
me.
M's up.
Hey,
Music,
we
money,
have a
marriage
guest
on a
today.
Who?
Monday.
Who got a guest today?
We do.
Why we got a guest?
Because
Well, we
that's
got
what,
a guest.
well, we have a guest because that's what podcasters do. They bring on guests.
That's what we have been discovering.
We have been
Everybody
learning
got a
that.
guest.
Everybody got a guest. And the important thing about the guest is it's got to be somebody that the people want to hear from.
That I want to hear from too.
Right.
Because I think that's one of the dope things about podcasting is that you get to network with other dope people and learn from them firsthand.
Firsthand.
And make dope content and bring it to the people at the same time.
Yes.
Oh man, so let's give it up for our guest today. We got Zach Steele.
Hey.
Let me find my applause. Okay.
I have a couple names.
Far too kind. Thank you for the applause.
See, I'm still
He's
Zach,
still learning the
as we go, you're gonna know that the
Listen, it's
my
gonna be
sound effect triggering is getting developed.
it's gonna
As-
supposed to be claps. It's gonna be like boo. Like wait.
We got Zach
wait.
Steele. Boo!
Like for real, like if you have a sentimental moment and I try to go for the ahs and it end up being laughs, like I didn't mean
He
it.
didn't mean it. Yeah.
I might. You know, all right, cool. I meant that one though. I meant that one.
What's up, Zach?
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming on the Married to Music podcast.
Of course.
Word up. So man, if y'all don't know, Zach Steele is a U City legend, and if you don't know what U City is, hold up. Oh man, it's like the picture the Harlem of Missouri, right? Where all the greats just come from, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what U City is around here. So Zach, thank you for coming to the podcast. Thank you for being a U City legend, a dope mixing, recording engineer, producer, along with a whole bunch of stuff. Look, some of your credits include some of the craziest people in the game, man. Lil Nas X, the baby,
Kanye West.
Kanye West. Who else?
Ricky Martin. When I saw Ricky Martin, I can't front. Everybody else was impressive, but
She
I was
was
like,
like-
Ricky Martin.
We said everybody. We listed like a list of 40 names, and she was like, "Oh yeah, Ricky Martin. That's it." So you never know who you touch it out there, man.
Yeah.
But coming from U City, I really want to kind of jump right in there. Like, how do you come from U City to where it's basically, we had one example of a major star and that I know of, and that's Nelly. Everybody know about that.
Right.
How do you come from U City and end up, well, I'm not going to say end up, but get to where you are right now, living in LA, working with literally the chart topping artists in the industry?
Okay, well, as you know, U City is very it's musical and creative, and you know, there might not be a lot of examples of people to look up to, but there are. If you dig, you find them. You know, I remember when I was in school, they had an actor come and talk to us, and I was like, "Oh, there's an actor from U City," and, you know. And then of course Nelly blew up, and everyone listens to music and makes music and loves music. So we're just working in our basements and stuff like that. And I just decided I want to pursue it professionally.
Nice.
So, and I'm glad you spoke on Nelly, man, because you just kind of put it in a different perspective for me, because Nelly kind of was the example. Because when I say that St. Louis is, or U City is like the Harlem or Missouri or St. Louis, it's because so many people from U City have done things in the arts, right? So there were examples before Nelly, but of course, like in the hip hop culture, Nelly was a great example for us. And then that's probably, obviously, maybe what inspired you and me to kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we were making music or playing instruments and everything before that, but then like it was really inspirational. It's like, oh, you can actually like make it.
Right. When you see somebody,
Yeah.
it definitely puts it into perspective that it, you know, what's possible.
I remember I was just watching music videos with a friend of mine. He was like, Zach, I think we could really do this.
Nice.
You know, that was one of the moments when I started taking it more seriously.
Yeah. So a lot of people in small towns have like these big city dreams. So, and you actually did that. You know, you moved from your small town into a bigger space. Talk us through a little bit about that journey, what it was like. You know, just like tell us your story.
Okay. So I went to community college, Merrimack.
Okay.
And then
Give it up for the
I took a radio production class.
Yeah.
And that was what kind of led me into like enjoying the more technical side of things. So then I switched to Webster University and I went to the audio production program. And as I was graduating, I realized like if I really want to be in the business, I'm going to have to leave St. Louis. So, in fact,
And why? Why do you feel that way?
well, I wanted to work with, the rappers that I was listening to on the radio and stuff. Atlanta was really hot at the time. They
So
still
it's a
are, obviously,
strategic
but
move, right?
yeah.
Because I told rappers this all the time, and like bigger markets like New York and stuff, they have a market to sustain their artists there. If you a rapper in St. Louis or an engineer who's looking to have a career in that field, especially at the level that we want to go to, it might not be possible here in St. Louis because the artists are not here.
Gotta go where the industry is.
Word up.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
just
not
wanted to
here.
go on an adventure too. I wanted to explore life a little bit and, get out of my hometown and, see what else the world had to offer.
So you left Webster and went.
Straight to Atlanta.
I went to Atlanta, yeah. as
Now,
soon as I
while you was
graduated.
at Webster here in St. Louis studying music production, how was that education there? Like, how was that for you? Did you do a 4-year program or?
I did a 4-year program. It took me a little longer, actually.
You did the 5-year program, okay? Okay, shoot.
So-
College is however long you make it.
Yeah. Well, I switched majors a couple times.
It is. You can pause and come back to
Okay,
college.
look, I don't know. I'm
You
not
can
a
stretch it
college-
out.
I'm
just
I don't have-
saying.
I don't have college, so I don't know. Look.
No, I switched majors a couple times before I locked in on audio production, and then I was like,
So what was you doing first? Sorry.
the first thing I was doing was English because I was like, I graduated high school with AP credits, so I already had college credit in English, and I was like, I'm
like,
just
let's
gonna
roll with it.
get it over with. And then I
okay.
switched to, I was like, I don't want to be trapped in a room by myself writing all day, and like I thought that was what the career would be if I did an English major, and then so I switched to music, and then
And now you
took
trapped
a lot of
by
theory.
yourself writing all day.
Yeah, so
Mixing all
that's funny,
day.
right? So, I was taking a music degree and took a lot of theory and stuff, and I realized like I don't want to conduct a symphony or like teach music classes or anything. Like I want to work on music. I want to be a producer, and so I switched to audio production, and
Okay.
that was
And it
it.
changed your life.
It was great. I started
Nice.
actually doing well in college. Like,
Yeah, because it was you were passionate
Yeah.
about. I tell people about that all the time when it comes to college. Like, wait, if you have to wait until you know what you want to study, wait, because college is expensive, and you don't want to be there wasting your time.
I meant to hit the money.
But yeah.
It was both of them.
But for sure, like it's just I love that how switching your major just like changed everything for you within college, which is super super dope. So you went to Atlanta straight after graduating. You were like, I'm out.
in fact, I had to do an internship in order to graduate. So I did that in Atlanta. I did 2 internships.
Ah,
I just want to point out a parallel real quick before we jump into the internship because I just love finding stuff like this in the journeys because I started out right out of high school, went to Forest Park Community College, and they had a music program, which it was a music tech. But I also had to do the algebra, man. So I had the algebra class at 7 a.m. and the music class at 7 p.m., man. So you can guess which one I was missing the most, you know? Like, oh, man, I couldn't quite make it, you know? But then I found Full Sail, which I know. Did you go to Full Sail?
Nah.
No, okay. You know who told me that? Jelly. You know Jelly. You remember Jelly Joe?
Yeah, of course. I just talked to him yesterday.
Jelly Joe, man. He's like, yeah, he went to Full Sail
He
too.
lied
I was
on
like,
you.
man, nah. All right, man. All right.
Yeah.
So you got to do the internship
Yeah.
to complete your credits for Webster. And so how'd you go about? Did the school help you find the internship, or you found it yourself?
I found it myself. I just looked up. I applied to internships in LA, New York, Atlanta, but I only went to visit in Atlanta. And I visited a couple. I actually didn't get the first one that I wanted, and which was Doppler Studios. And then I did an interview at Tree Sound Studios. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want this one too. So
yeah. So it worked.
I got an internship there. And then after that internship was done, then I went to Doppler. I had a good letter of recommendation, and then I got the Doppler internship.
So you did 2 internships.
Yeah.
Love
How long did they last?
It was about a year total.
A year total.
So the second 6 months was paid, so that was good.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. That's
great.
cool, man. Shoot, that's a little quicker than mine. I think I might have been working for at least a whole year
The first
before we got paid.
before
man.
you got a dime.
Before we got that.
Yeah,
$9.
well, all internships look different, but it is important to intern.
Yeah. What kind of work were you doing during your internship?
Everything from cleaning gutters and toilets to,
Gutters.
got to jump in and record this guy, or, I got the chance to record, like, Greg Street. He's a radio personality down there. And, I think one time in the middle of the night, I recorded the Nappy Roots.
Nice, nice.
Like there's no one else there. You're asleep, or they wake you up. Can you come record? Or actually, when I was an intern, Fabian was mixing Lil Wayne's album. I remember particularly the single "Lollipop" from the Carter 3, and I just remember hearing that being mixed. Like you hear it coming through the walls, and it was so different. And I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And then he called me in, and like in the middle of the night to come zero out the board so he could do the next mix.
So cool.
I didn't technically assist on Lollipop, but
I was there.
I touched the board.
But you got the credit for it.
No.
Okay. Hey, sometimes you get them extra credits, and sometimes you're like, dang, I actually did work on that.
And I didn't get credit.
And I don't get no credit. Yeah. Okay. So after your internship, you just stayed, or you went home, or you came back?
Hold on, before we get to after internship, I got a little question about internships, because a lot of people who want to get into this, internships are so important. I went through internship, did it for over a year. Like you got to kind of humble yourself to be in that position, but you get amazing opportunities, like you was just saying. Like you literally to be standing outside the room while you hearing Lollipop mix. Like
That's dope.
Where we at with that?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's still a valid path? And that people can still go that route to get an internship? Is that still the route, even with?
I think so. I think it's the best way to go, honestly. I mean, you could be self-taught or something like that, but being in the studio, especially like a major studio, if you can land one of those, then you're going to have other engineers around and producers, and not only are you working on your network, but you get to look over people's shoulders, learn, oh, you do that. And, you're just learning techniques. And it's just kind of like it's like the real industry way to go, I think.
Yeah.
If you really want to be industry,
Absolutely.
then I would get an internship.
And I mean, it gets you in the door.
Yeah.
It
And
gets
it's
you
about
in the
those
room.
relationships too, right?
Yeah.
Like knowing as soon as you get into there, if people like you and like your vibe, and you can and they start pulling you into all these different projects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
Internships, y'all.
You can't do that on the internet.
You're not too good for an internship.
Yeah.
You just can't do that on the internet. You can't get in
Right.
There's
on
no
social
way
media, there's no way.
to show your vibe yet.
And
Can't just slide in the DMs. Like.
Right, exactly. And something I will say about the industry, the music industry, like a lot of records are made like at home in home studios and stuff nowadays, but there are still records being created in these big studios. And being there is so valuable. So many credits happen just because you were in the next room or you were in the hallway and somebody calls you in and you give a line or two, now you're on the record. Like that is so important. And one of the best ways to get into the room is to be an intern, start from the ground up.
and work hard as hell on that intern.
I mean, shine bright like a diamond as an
you gotta
intern. Okay.
You talking about like being woken up from your sleep, like sleeping in there, like, look,
Exactly.
let me, I ain't gotta go home, don't worry. I don't have nothing to do. People be rushing home to what? Like, bro, what'd you come here for? You came to Atlanta for a reason, and I know you ain't want to go back to St. Louis without what you came for.
Yeah.
You got to maximize the opportunity, and ask the studio owner or the engineers or anything. Is there anything I can do for you to make your life easier? And even if they say, even if they don't have anything for you, you better go clean
Find
the
something to do,
console,
Find it, right?
Yeah.
solder some headphones together, do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, find the problem and just start.
Then you can
fixing
stand out, because I remember I started getting freelance engineering sessions through the studio a lot faster than some of the other assistants, just because I would stand out by,
Going above and beyond.
yeah, exactly.
That's what's up. Love that. Okay.
Definitely what it takes.
So now, did you leave Atlanta after your internship and come home, or did you just say, look, I'm gonna just stay
I
here?
just stayed.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I got hired as an assistant at the studio.
Okay.
So
So during your internship, were you working another job?
I had a couple jobs. Yeah. Lowe's I worked at for a while in the garden section or something. Just random.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta know, because I know, like, you know, if you especially during those 6 months, you're not making money. Like, hopefully, you know, you got family support.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you might have to get
Get a job.
too. So you might be working 8 hours here and putting 12 hours in at the studio and trying to get 4 hours of sleep and back at it.
Yeah. And you know, like paid
I don't know
gigs
if
would
that
come
math
up.
was good. I think that was right.
Every now and then I would get paid for something at the studio too. Even when I was an intern, they would be like, "Oh, can you go help do sound at this event or something?" And
Nice.
you know, get a check from it.
Okay.
So,
A lot of hustling, y'all. Man, being in this industry is a hustle. You got to really know how to make
What year was
money.
this when you were in Atlanta interning?
2008.
Nice. Okay. So you got a job. What was your job? You said you got a job
At the studio, I got hired as an assistant engineer.
Dope. For
So-
who were you assisting?
I assisted, you know, the engineers there, and there was a lot of artists. Nelly, I think my first credit was Fabulous on the album
Nice.
Loso's Way. We did Throw It in the Bag.
Yeah.
Um,
I use that on my story all the time. Every time I'm shopping, I use throw it in the bag.
there you go.
Every time. Every time I'm spending his money, I'm like,
Yeah.
where's that song again?
So yeah, that was my first assistant engineering credit.
Nice. That's a great first credit.
Yeah.
Super dope. Okay. And then after that, the credits just started rolling in, or was there ever like, I don't know about this. Did I make the right choice? Like, what was the journey like from there?
The credits rolled in a lot faster than the money. I will say that.
Okay.
So immediately, I moved. Like it seems like in Atlanta, you can move up faster from assistant to first engineer.
Okay.
In LA, I think it takes people a long time. There's a lot more competition or something. But in Atlanta, or maybe I'm just special, I don't know. But so I spent about a year or two as an assistant, and then I got picked up by Trey Songz as his full-time engineer. I think I was assisting on a Trey Songz session, and then Polo the Don wanted to get him on a song, and he booked another room in the same studio, and they needed an engineer to record him in the other room, and Polo's engineer he knew me, and he was like, tell Zach to do it. And I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So I got the chance to sit in the chair and record him, and he was like, yo,
You knew what you was doing. See,
I'm almost done building my studio. You want to
were
come be my
ready.
engineer?
that's what preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Because
Yeah.
if you were in there like, hold on, let me get that other track ready for
I
you.
had a few of those.
Yeah.
Trust me. I had
had a few
a
of
few
those moments?
sessions. I got kicked out of a session one time because I
Oh,
was moving
that's
too
what I wanna
slow.
hear.
And then
Really?
yeah,
Okay, hold on. Don't let that go over your
yeah.
head.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Don't
you
let
got
that go over at
kicked
all.
out of session because you wasn't moving too slow.
Yeah, I was brand new. Like
Yeah.
I was, so I was working with some songwriters.
session.
It was Rock City
Okay.
songwriters. So the big songwriters, and they move fast.
Yeah.
And they got heavy accents. I couldn't really tell what they were saying half the time. And like,
Yes.
so like,
Swedish? Is that?
no, they're
I know.
Virgin Islands, I think.
Yeah.
So, they're just incredibly talented, and they're moving fast, and I couldn't keep up. And they weren't rude or anything. They just got their manager to be like, oh, we got another engineer coming in.
Dang, what did that feel
So,
like?
it was a kick in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Lord.
went home and started practicing. Like I'm flying hooks. There's not even a hook there. I'm
Flying it.
learning all my shortcuts and everything. And
Yeah.
then,
Man, and that's something that I try to stress, man. Like literally on my channel, I'm always like, you got to be an editing ninja.
Have to be.
Editing ninja, because that's literally one thing I prided myself on, was being super fast at editing. Like, because mixing takes something that might take years before you get it all together, man.
Right.
But like I cram so hard on my Pro Tools shortcuts.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
bro, if
mean,
they put me in the seat, I'm telling you, I'm
ready.
I'm about to kill them.
And honestly, from an artist perspective, like that's everything.
Yeah.
I have been in sessions where it's like I will never record with this person ever again because I have an idea and you're not ready. And now the idea is leaving.
It kills the vibe.
The longer you take, this idea is leaving me. Yeah. So it's super important to be really fast, and that takes time and practice.
Yeah,
So.
but the next time that opportunity came,
I was fast.
You were ready.
You was ready, and it got you where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Well, so with Trey Songz, man, Trey Songz seemed to have a lot of ties to St. Louis. I feel like for some reason he knew a lot of people here. I know also his brother Bully.
Yeah.
His manager. That's actually Dave East's brother.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I used to record Dave East a lot because of Bully was good friends with Jim Jones that I did a lot of work with. Mm-hmm. And so Bully used to bring his little brother Dave around like after the sessions. Like, man, all right, now we recording him. Now he Dave East. And, but yeah, I know he was managing Trey for a while, right?
He was around. I don't know what. I thought he was bodyguard. I don't know.
All lit, right?
Yeah. He's hilarious. I know he's the comedian. That's what he is.
One.
He
Yeah.
definitely came into a lot of stuff, man.
Maybe I just assumed because, so he wasn't really around that much when I was around Trey.
Okay.
It was, and I've known Trey for a long time now. So there's been there was a time when I worked with him full time, all the time, and then I moved out to LA, and then I saw him every now and then,
right?
Like very rarely,
Mm-hmm.
and then so and I think Bully was around more on the second half. So
it'd be like that sometimes.
yeah.
Of course.
So and so while you was working with Trey, you was like y'all was living in Miami at a point in time.
Yeah.
In a
What was that like?
That was crazy.
Miami's so beautiful and
How was y'all
gorgeous.
getting work done, man? So it was a studio house. You gotta explain this, man.
Okay.
I gotta understand.
Yeah, studio house. Studio house is like one of my favorite ways to work.
yeah.
It's fun. So yeah, we had a house with a studio in it, and
Everybody just lived there.
he works like with a lot of in-house producers and writers and stuff. He's got like a squad. So writers and producers were flying down and making tracks, and
Nice.
everybody's collaborating. They can do it whenever they want.
Right.
It's great.
And y'all did a whole project in Miami.
Yeah. that's
Which
right.
one? What project was
We
that?
did like 3 actually. So
Wow.
we did the Chapter 5 album in Miami, and then also I think it was Anticipation 2 mixtape, and Let Me Hold That Beat 2 mixtape.
And you had a production.
And
credit.
there was an EP too. I forget the name of the EP. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
it
you
was
did a
4
bunch of projects.
Yeah.
And you produced on Anticipation too.
I did, yeah.
Nice. So how did that work out?
So Trey was out of the country, and I was just in the house like, I'm making a beat on this album. Like I'm making
It was like it's going
I'm
down
making a
on
beat.
this album.
Yeah. So I was just cooking up, and Troy Taylor was in the next room, and he heard what I was cooking, and he knocked on the door, and he came in, and he was like, yo, when Trey gets back, you got to let him hear that one. So Trey got back, and I let him hear the track, and he was like, play it again? and he sat there like pretty much no expression on his face, listened to the whole beat. And he was like, all right, load up that song we were listening to last time. Or, so we got to work on another song that we were already working on.
And you thought it was like, oh well.
thought it was over.
You thought it was no
So
shot.
then like the next day, he was like, all right, give me a CD with the bounces of all the songs that we did in like the last week. And so it was like 5 songs or something, but I put like 2 songs, and then I put my beat.
Hey, you gotta sneak that
then
in there, man.
And then I put the other 2 songs, 3
Yeah,
songs.
you gotta sneak your own stuff in there.
Yeah.
Got to.
So it was kind of a savage move. And then he was like, he got back to the house, and he was like, yo, Zach, I couldn't get past the track. I was listening to the CD. I couldn't get past your beat. So I got an idea. Load it up.
Nice.
That's what's up, man.
Love that.
So
That's
you gotta
such
be a
great
little
story.
assertive sometimes. That's a don't take no for an
But
answer.
only do something like that if you have a relationship with
Got
somebody.
to have a relationship, because
Yeah.
that could have killed it if you was
Yeah.
brand new, man. Like, who is this intern putting his
Right.
beat
Yeah.
on my CD?
And
you
if
know?
it was a trash beat,
Right.
sometimes the talent is important. Sometimes
Get outta
talent
here.
matters. So that's such a dope story. I love, love, love that.
Word up, man. So dang. So from working with Trey Songz, where does this path take you next?
Right after Miami. Well, so wait. So Miami was while you were living in Atlanta. You went to Miami for that.
Right. So
Okay. So how did you get it? How did you end up in LA?
So I went back to Atlanta for a little while, and I think I just wanted to go to LA. It was just like time.
You were just kind of freelancing still, or
I was freelancing. I was doing some sessions, and I was like, I want to work on I wanted to work in the pop world. I wanted to do everything, and it seemed like Atlanta was more like trap and R&B.
For sure.
And come to find out, they're doing a lot of trap in LA too.
Of
It's
course,
like,
they do a trap everywhere.
Migos are recording in LA, like.
exactly.
So, but anyway, that was my idea. I want to work with Chris Brown and Rihanna and those type of people, and so went out to LA.
Okay.
So did you just like what was in place? Who did
There
you
was
know? Like
I had a few engineers that I knew
okay,
and some friends, a handful of friends, and that was pretty much it.
because LA is a
A
different
little bit of family.
different price bracket from Atlanta too.
Yeah.
Living wise, so I'm sure that
Yeah.
was a
It was a risk, and honestly, I didn't know. I already had plenty of credits, but I was willing to start over. I was like, if I got to do another internship, like I will. I'll figure it out.
nice.
So what was the first stop when you got to LA? I mean, like what?
So I made a lot of calls, and ended up getting an interview at Chalice Recording in LA, and I went to the interview, and it was an interview to be a runner or an assistant or something like that, maybe an intern, I don't remember, but I remember they told me, yeah, we can't hire you as an assistant. You got too much experience. You're gonna quit as soon as somebody offers you a real gig. Like, you're gonna scare the interns away. Like,
you're gonna make our
Too much talent.
engineers feel
right.
The old overqualified bit.
Yeah, and she was like, but sometimes we need freelance engineers, so I'll give you a call. And I was like, oh, this is how they blow people off in LA. I get it. Okay. So went home. About 2 months later, I got a call, and I missed the call by 5 minutes, and they had already found another engineer.
That's so slow burn.
So, but she called me the next day
with another.
with another session. It was Nas. So my first session in
Bruh.
LA was
Hey.
Nas.
Where's the applause?
I was giving it a real life.
We could do
applause.
both.
Okay. Now, the big NAS.
All I need is one mic, Nas.
So what y'all work on that
From
night? with
Queens, Nas.
We did a song. I think it was a Meek Mill song.
Wow.
We did a feature on. Yeah,
Okay. dope.
How was Nas? Does Nas still hit the pen and pad?
he does.
See, I told you, man. All the OGs,
Because that's what they
use
used
pen and
to.
pad, man. Jadakiss, he pen and pad. Nas, pen and pad.
Not
man.
surprised at all.
Migos off the top. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, no disrespect.
No, well, I mean, it's just when Nas was first writing rhymes, they didn't have no phones. He was using a pen and pad.
There we go.
So, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Sometimes you just got to write it down.
And
But that's
if it,
so dope.
it works. So
Yeah,
Right.
no,
if it ain't broke, don't fix
If it ain't right, if that's your formula, it's been getting you, iconic records.
Oh no, I'm
So-
all about the pen and pad life.
Yeah, for sure. So that's dope. So Nas was your first, and then the rest is history. You've been in LA ever since.
Been in LA ever since. I think it was the second session that I had was the one that really locked it in. It was a Robin Thicke session.
Okay.
And he was gonna book again the next day. And I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe the studio manager was gassing me up, but she said, Robin said he wants to come back in tonight, but he's only coming if we can get you as the engineer. And I was like, all right, so I guess I'm gonna get a lot of calls
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
the
I
studio.
was gonna say the same thing. I believe that because a good engineer makes you feel like you can conquer the world in that booth.
Yeah, if he had that vibe that night,
You'll
he's like, "Yo,
remember."
I want that.
Yeah.
I think I had yesterday. Like we gotta have that same thing.
No, for sure. Like before I met Wayne, Sam the engineer. I don't know if you know him. He got a lot of credits too, but he was my absolute favorite engineer. Like I used to work with with the Soul Diggers in New Jersey. I almost called them the Gold Diggers, but they did a lot of stuff with like Diddy and Bad Boy and all that. And Sam was I mean, I would only work with him there. I was like, I don't want to record with nobody else. And now I'm married to Wayne, so naturally, I don't want to work with anybody else. But I can totally believe that because if you gave him that feeling, shoot, why go with anybody else?
You got the songs done, and he was happy.
Love it. Love that. So I have a question that I think a lot of the listeners will want to know, like Atlanta versus LA. Because there's a lot of people right now sitting at home deciding which big city am I going to go to. You've been in both. So what are the pros and cons of both? What would you suggest?
I would say the scene is a lot bigger in LA. So it's just more industry. Like all the labels are in LA. There's, probably 10 times the amount of big studios.
Right.
So Atlanta has some really talented people and some nice studios, but I think it's just bigger in LA. So it's also probably more competitive. I feel like in my experience in LA, it was a lot easier to get people to take it seriously. Like there's not as many people trying to get you to record them for free or anything like that. Mostly because they know, this is LA. Like
ain't nothing free, man.
Nothing.
Gas is $8, man.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So
okay.
I would say depends on a lot of things. Budget is
Right.
one.
Right.
I think you can definitely get your foot in the door in Atlanta. And that's what I did. I got my foot in the door. It was a little bit cheaper than living in LA, and
Ran up them credits.
Yeah.
got the credits. Came out here with the credits or out there,
Right.
and then it was a little bit easier to transition.
Love that.
So
I like that. So I mean, I guess in your eyes, it depends on like what kind of music, but you want to work on. Because I had the same mentality too, man. Leaving Full Sail, I was thinking like, man, should I go to Atlanta or New York? Right, that was between my choices, and I ended up going to New York because I wanted to work on a wide variety of music. Like I like more stuff than that's trap. And in Atlanta that time, everything was just trap. I was like, man, I don't want to get boxed in with that. I want to be miking drum sets and recording this, and I might want to do some Broadway stuff. Like I had my mind wide open, but when I got to New York, it was just trap. You know what I mean?
Trap and more trap.
it was unstoppable for a little while.
It was.
Yeah, everywhere you go was the same. Everyone's making the same music.
Same with you. So I mean, but I guess the question is now, like, is it still the same? It's still like you said, Miga. It's still a lot of trap, but
It's whatever's popular is going to be what is being recorded. Yeah,
Exactly,
So,
because everyone's going to chase that sound.
yeah, and it's still trap is popular, but rap in general is definitely still the top.
Right, the top genre.
so
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as a freelancer in LA, do you work out of your own studio, or are you renting a studio? What's the scene looking like for you right now?
Yeah, I have a studio. I rent a room in North Hollywood and
Okay.
got my stuff there. Got a little vocal booth, and most of the time I'm just mixing, to be honest.
Okay. And so what kind of room is it? Because is it like one of these like buildings where they put like a bunch of studios in it and kind of do independent, like everybody running their own spot?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I like
Nice.
those models, man. We need one of those here in
all
St. Louis,
over
man.
LA, all over
They
LA.
all over
Yeah,
LA. They in New York, everywhere.
All over New York,
Yeah.
exactly. So what do you like better, freelancing or like working for a major?
That's a good question. There's pros and cons with both. I mean, I've only been full-time like engineer for somebody in particular a few times, like Trey Songz in particular, and that was great. You feel like you're part of a team,
Right.
and you get to know the team, and so you know how to run it. With
You already
freelance, it's like you might be meeting somebody for the first time, and you don't know how they like to work. You got to guess, like
Right.
so. But at the same time, it's a wider variety of things you get to work on when you're freelance. So when you're freelance, you could get, 10 credits in a year. And, if you're working with one artist, you would have only got that
Right.
one credit
Right. Right.
or however many projects they did in a year, But
I mean, I know it's a big demand on your time, like when you're doing that, and especially like the more mature you get and you you know, relationships and family, like
Yeah.
living in a house in Miami for 6 months or something, like, you know, that might not be something that you always are willing and ready
able
to
to
do.
Right.
do,
Yeah.
So like, does that dynamic come into play for you when you kind of right now? 'Cause I know we talked
Yeah,
before a
so-
little bit about that.
Honestly, I'm still technically freelance, but right now I feel like I'm working for myself, you know, because I'm doing a lot of mixing. So I don't, you know, there's deadlines and stuff, but it's not come to the studio now, you know.
Right.
So I prefer that over everything.
Yeah,
You
being
know?
working for yourself.
Yeah. And so, you know, you can dictate your own schedule and get some balance. Like for a long time, I was just tired all the time, working late nights and
Yeah.
early mornings and no gym, eating terrible,
Yeah.
like no
Studio
social
diet is
life.
trash.
The amount of times I had to cancel like social things or dates or anything was just intense. So it's like,
You were literally married to the music.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what it is. The music was first, man.
Yeah.
When Lydia and I met, I was working with Jim Jones and 6 nights a week from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah. When I met him, he was
so
like,
you got a day off.
I got one day, Sunday. Sometime if he didn't call me, I mean,
Right.
like, yo, Wayne, go to the studio. I gotta
right.
go and finish these tacos. I gotta go. You know?
But it was funny because he was like, yeah, I work 9 to 5, and you know, for Jim Jones or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's different.
Yeah.
And then I realized he meant 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. I was like, oh, that's different. But it was really cool. We hustled so much out of that studio. Like,
Absolutely.
My first project that I ever released, we recorded in that studio. I would literally come like at 5 in the morning.
We'll stay to 10.
The sun would be coming
11.
up, and we would be in there recording like crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, you got to use those spaces because at the same time, and then that's when I was recording like Dave East and all, you know, these other cats that would just come through after, like when Jim wasn't there. Like, all right, I'm just in the studio. Do I want to take an hour and a half train ride to Brooklyn? No, I probably end up staying in the studio anyway. So
Just
come through,
stay and work.
Yeah.
Gotta have that hustle mentality, man. Okay, so I have a question.
Let's go.
It's a hard question.
Oh,
If you had to choose one song, your favorite your favorite mix,
My favorite mix.
one song, and why?
Wow.
I told you.
do
it
I
was
got
tough.
something for this?
You know what? I gotta say,
I got nothing for that.
all right, my artist Steele.
Okay.
I've mixed every single one of his songs, and they're all the best.
And they're all the best.
No. I think what it is, you know, I'm still a student of the game, so every mix that I do, I feel like is better than the last one. Not every time, but you know, most of the time, there's a trending upward curve of things getting better. Still, you know. So, and I hope that'll always be the case.
Yeah.
So I hope, you know, when I'm 60, like I'll feel like I just did my best mix
Exactly.
like
Like, yo, I
yesterday.
finally get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, this is the first mix I ever did that sounds good.
exactly.
So the answer is your last mix.
Yeah.
Your last mix is your best mix. Oh, I love that.
That's what I think is.
I love that.
I mean,
That's great.
all the time. But so I was gonna also ask, what? Stop. What do you like? Kind of what in your opinion? What's some of the differences between like an amateur mixer, recording engineer, and a pro? Like, what's the difference? What separates them?
I think a pro knows how to do less and, you know, get away with it.
Okay.
Well, it's because the songs really don't need that much most of the time.
Man.
You know, sometimes you got to do surgery and work a miracle, but most of the time I get sessions that are like, you know, there's like 20 dB of compression on the vocals. It's like, yo, you guys, whoever tracked this was doing way too much. Like, all I have to do is undo what they did, and now it sounds mixed.
Wow.
So I think learning that less is more is one of the difference between amateur and pro.
Okay. And
That's great.
How did you learn how to mix? Now, did you learn how to mix at school in Webster, or did it happen during your internship?
No shade to Webster, but absolutely not.
No, I mean, like with anything, like education is just like a tiny piece of it. You know, the real education is in the field. So I learned on the job, you know.
Yeah.
I mixed, 5 mixtapes for Trey Songz. Like,
Every tape you learned more and more.
yeah. Every time you get a mix, you try a new technique, you learn it, you put it in the toolbox, and 10 years later, you're decent at it.
Wow.
Okay, so look, man, make sure y'all taking y'all time out here. Don't rush or feel like that it's not coming fast enough, man. Because we live in a microwave culture. Everybody want to be great the first day. Like they download Pro Tools and be like, "Yo, I'm doing session 60 an hour. Come book me."
That's
like,
crazy.
Bro, chill.
No, but it's so
chill.
true. It's so accurate. Like,
Hey, man, look, I just got a scalpel. I'm a doctor. Come see me.
open heart surgery for 10
10
an hour.
It don't work like that, right?
Yeah,
but they come into this field a lot of times and assume that it's as easy as watching a YouTube video. Sometimes it might be though. We'll get you close. No,
Man, yeah, you're helping them out a lot.
He is.
No, but speaking of that, how do you learn? How do you stay current and keep learning? Because you say you're a student of the game. Like, what's some methods and stuff that you are? How do you keep learning?
I think the best way is to surround yourself with other people that do the same thing,
A community, having engineers, producers.
Yeah, people you can call, hey, man, I'm having trouble doing this on the 808. What do you usually do? Or, the vocals are acting like this. What should I do? Or, or, sometimes you're just sitting around talking as friends and, you just start nerding out and talking about plugins, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna try that on my next one.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's so, I feel like that's so key. You hit it right on the head. But because so many times we spend our times around people, like, and we wasting our conversational space, but the more we can be around engineers and producers and be talking about music, be talking about our businesses or whatever it is, the more we can do that, we can be learning and sharing ideas with each other. So that's a super clutch comment, man. Let me clap that up for that, all right?
And if you really love it, you could talk about it endlessly. It's like, we would rather, it's just naturally, you just start talking and then all of a sudden you're talking about music and like you can't get off the subject. And, I need to get back to work. Like we've been talking about plugins for 2 hours.
That'd be the problem too, though. Especially like, man, I know if you like work at a studio or something, like mixing at a studio around other engineers versus like just mixing it at your house or somewhere where you private, you probably get that mix done a whole lot faster. Then you link up with another engineer. Next thing you know, y'all
talking shop
y'all
for
talking
hours.
for an hour. Like,
Yeah.
man, we ain't mixed that much.
So give us like a technique that saved your life.
Oh God.
You could just give us one.
Oh, some clutch.
Let's see. There's been a lot.
Give us all.
All of them.
We want everyone.
A mixing technique, right?
Yeah, just
Okay. I would say, well, I hope this doesn't sound like a cop-out, but it's super important to learn compression. I think compression is like the game changer that once you understand how to hear it and hear what's going on, that your mixes will be transformed, because a lot of people, they just slapping on compressors because they know it's supposed to be on there, and then either the, attack and release times are off and, it's just doing the wrong thing. Here's one, parallel compression, game changer. Look that up, do it.
okay. Okay.
Word up. I mean, I love parallel everything.
Yeah.
Parallel compression. Parallel parking.
You know what?
But
Can't
for sure,
stand parallel
compression,
parking.
that is one thing, man, that everybody, I mean, it seems to be like the phantom thing that we can't grab. It's like, what this compression thing. But so how do you attack compression? Like, what's your philosophy behind compression since we going there?
It's almost like use the plugins that you know how to use or hardware, whatever allows you to just dial in the sound fast.
Are you more a hardware guy or plug-in guy?
I'm a plugin guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%?
At the time being, 100%. I like hardware too.
Okay.
If I was in a studio that had a bunch of stuff, I'd
I mean, look,
It's just more convenient if you got to do recalls and stuff. Like,
who are you telling?
yeah,
It is no matter what, even with the recall software. Still, man, when you got to the hardware until we get to the point to where every piece of gear is instantly recallable. Like, you know, I'm like,
well,
man,
like I'm in St. Louis right now, and you know, I told you guys I brought my stuff in case somebody needs like a recall or a change or anything like that. But you know, I didn't bring a rack of compressors with me.
Right.
So
That'd be a little challenging. Yeah.
Some people do it. Bring one. Bring one.
right?
You know?
Yeah, always got one. Got a preamp and a compressor in my bag, man.
That's so funny. Oh man.
Okay, so we was talking about the compression technique.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well,
So, yeah, it's just, I don't know, use your ears.
yeah,
Just do
for
it.
sure.
It's
I mean,
like,
it's hard to-
it's going to take you a long time to get it, I feel like.
Yeah.
So if you focus on listening, you know, A-B stuff, make sure the gain staging is right. So, like, you're not just hearing a level increase and a volume increase. Make sure you're just hearing the compression.
what's top 3 compressor plugins for vocals?
Okay. I like the UAD 1176.
Okay.
Or the Waves 1176, the CLA one.
Yeah. You ever tried the BF76? What you think about that one? It's like
I have, yeah.
Pro Tools.
I think I use that. I used to use that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use it so much anymore. It's like when you have like so many plugins, you just use what you're using. Like, so
Yeah.
what else? I like multi-band compression a lot.
Okay. Who you tapping into
filter.
for that? Okay. Yeah.
How many was that? 3?
Yeah, that was like 4.
That was 2.
Was it?
Well, I said UAD and
He said
Oh,
that, right.
No way. Okay, so you're a fan of the 1176.
yeah, I think I like it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a
The
word
LA2A.
for sure.
My favorite compressor, period, is the CL1B.
Okay.
So the hardware version.
Okay. You have one of those?
I don't have one of those.
Ooh.
I've used them a lot though.
Ooh, we gotta get you one of those,
Yeah.
yo.
Let's go. You have one?
Nah, I gotta get one too.
All right, cool.
That's why I'm trying to see, man. Shout out, you know what?
Shout out to Sweetwater.
Shout out to our
Shout out
sponsor.
to our sponsor.
We need a couple.
Yo, shout out to our sponsor, Sweetwater, man.
We've got friends.
I think we need to team up, do a compression tutorial using the CL1B.
Right.
Wavy Wayne and Zach Steele, dual compression with 2 CL1Bs. And, shout out to Sweetwater.com, the best place to get your studio gear online. Matter of fact, actually, they sponsoring this podcast.
Yes.
They hooked us up with all the
this
studio
gear.
gear, man. We got the Cloud Lifters, the SM7Bs. We got the Roland VR4 HD over there to do all the camera switching, the Tascam Mixcast 4. This is just a little commercial for Sweetwater.
Quick
because
commercial.
They dope.
They are dope though.
I mess with Sweetwater.com.
Yeah.
And I'm an affiliate, so you can click the link in the description.
Don't forget to use your affiliate links, guys. You know, I think that's a good segue into the money section. We're gonna segue right on into money.
Okay.
What's our first money question for Zach? Okay, so how do engineers make money?
Engineers are paid by artists, labels, studios. I think those are probably the top 3.
Mm-hmm. Do engineers get royalties?
Most of the time, no.
No, really?
Sometimes if you mixed, the biggest song in the world, then you might get a point on it or something. But tracking engineers, very rare. Although some artists will say, "Oh, you helped me with the production, and I give you,
They'll give you some
5% or
points,
something like." Yeah, if you go above and beyond engineering, maybe you throw a lyric out and they use it.
Right.
Right.
Then
That's
you
a
can
way
get,
in.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's a work for hire type of situation.
exactly.
So just so everybody knows out there, work for hire just means like they pay you, you get paid, and that's it. One time versus royalties on points and credits on albums where when the album sells and when the album makes money every time the album makes money, you make money on the back end.
So
just so you understand the difference.
word. I mean, in that you've gotten placements. I know one for sure. Have you gotten any other placements? I know you got the placement with Trey Songz for production. You gotten any other royalties or credits, like something that you're getting residuals from?
Yeah, I have an artist that I'm like co-writing with a lot and vocal producing and stuff like that.
The artist
so
you
Steele,
mentioned,
yeah.
Steele? Okay.
Shout out to
Steele.
Steele.
So you know, if you do more than just engineering, you know, you get a bigger piece of the pie. So if I'm co-writing, vocal producing, you know, then I'm entitled to a certain percentage of the composition.
Word up.
Yeah.
So
That's great. And vocal producing is basically telling the artist like how to sing it.
Yeah.
Adding maybe notes or harmonies or, you know, melody changes or whatever the case may be. That's what vocal
I feel like so much production though happens, vocal production, music production happens from the engineering. So many times though, we still not getting the credit for it. Like, I mean, to me, adding a delay on the vocal is doing production. You know, I mean, that's you producing the song at that point. If you do a drop in
unless they ask you for it.
unless they
know?
exactly,
Unless
but
they
if you
ask
made
for
the
it.
decision
Right,
to do it
right.
creatively, then
That's producing.
You producing, right? If you creatively did a drop here, or you know, a lot of our decisions are creative. Like the compression that we use may be a creative decision, right? So I think it's a long way to go for the proper compensation of everybody who's involved in music creation.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. So what's the difference, like adding those elements? Isn't that a part of mixing? So, because don't mixing engineers get credits on albums? No.
You get credit.
You
yes.
get credit,
Yeah.
But you don't
not
get-
debit.
Yeah. There's a few that do like.
Got myself up on that one.
You know, the top mixing engineers in the game, you know, they're getting points on stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Right. I mean, that's different though.
$10,000 a song.
Yeah,
or
no.
more.
Or-
you
yeah.
know.
But I'm talking about like an everyday mix, somebody who does a mix versus tracking is one thing. I can understand you getting a work for hire fee for tracking if that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Fine. But once you start to mix, you're actually like adding to the song.
I agree with you.
Like
Let's get publishing. Let's
I'm
get
saying-
royalties.
I mean, at least something. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be
no,
crazy,
5%.
but
We'll take it. you know.
right. I mean, I feel like that.
Then let's start at 3%. Like, can we come in?
And we come in somewhere.
You know.
Well, that's a conversation that I'm sure is being had. It just needs to be had a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, engineers just need to we need a union. We need to unionize.
For real, because I
Engineer
mean,
Yeah,
blackout.
exactly.
we not mixing no records
Nothing without
unless
a
we
point.
get our credit.
Yeah.
For real.
So, but knowing that, I'm just thinking like, okay, so knowing that a lot of our work is work for hire, there ain't no 401k, there ain't no health care for us. We got to be thinking about the future because we might have a $10,000 month and then we might have a $100 month right after that, right? So how have you found it to balance that kind of inconsistencies that it can be? Is it inconsistency for you? I might be speaking on me by me, but
Yeah, I think for a lot of people,
freelancing.
it's like feast or famine, you know?
Yeah.
I think the later in your career it gets, it kind of evens out a little bit where it's like, because you get calls from somebody you haven't heard from in a while, you know?
Yeah, you got more.
Whereas in the beginning, it's like, I'm on this project, and then it's like, oh, you don't know where the next project's coming
Right.
from. So later when you have, you know, a bigger network, then,
Yeah.
you know, it evens out a little bit more. You can stay busy longer. But yeah, you have to account for slow months when you're having, you know,
Yeah.
don't blow all your money.
Because you hot right now. You never know.
It's hard because sometimes you might get caught up in that rock star lifestyle. You in the studio with these cats, but you forget that you just making a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
And they got this. Like,
got-
hey, we going to the
You
club.
feeling
Yeah,
it.
let's go. And
Right.
they're like, hold up, dang, that was
How much
my
was
rent.
that?
That was my
How
rent.
much?
Yeah.
How much I just spent? Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's important. It really is important to be, like we said, know your financial situation.
Right, get up in that business.
Get all
So
up
how
in the
can
business.
you? So how for you, are you working on any like creative ways to kind of manage the finances? Are you investing in anything outside of music? Are there other stuff in music that you're investing in? You know.
Yeah. So I'm invested a little bit in the stock market, not much. I'm getting my feet wet now, you know. So, and crypto.
Okay. Okay. Talk about. I like crypto.
You want to talk about
You
it?
like that crypto talk, that crip walk,
Yeah.
crypto talk.
So, and I think it's just important to look at the changing landscape of everything. Like I'm reading a lot about NFTs now. I know everybody is. I'm sure you guys are. The metaverse, what's going to happen with that?
Oh shoot, you talk that
So
talk.
like just, you know, try to be forward thinking,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely on all of that. trying to think about what the future is, because we've seen our industry change so many times, right before our eyes. In the last 20 years, like, it's been a huge shift for recording and mixing engineers. A lot of people doing so much stuff at home. Like, what's going to be the next evolution for us? A lot of that is why I got into teaching and doing stuff, because I would see, I'm working at Quad Studios. I'm seeing how a lot of the big studios around closing down, right? People moving more into smaller spaces, recording themselves. So I was like, yo, let me teach you then. If you don't want me to record you, let me just make sure that at least you're recording yourself good, you know? So it kind of transitioned from there, just kind of thinking about where we headed in the future. And then I'm just like, all right, we headed to the metaverse.
We are. I mean, and I think about just like how fast we went from buying music to streaming music. Like it happened, like it just happened. Yeah. You know, you can like sell your song. Hey, buy my song on iTunes. I was selling singles. Buy my single, you know, and you make 99 cents or $1.99 to that don't even exist. Like you can't even get to you know how hard it is to get to the iTunes store? Try to go to the iTunes store on your phone.
Right.
It is impossible. Yeah. It takes you to Apple Music every time. I'm like, I can't even promote. Somebody's like, hey, I want to support you and buy your single. It's hard to even get them to, right? So how fast that happened, I feel like for sure, like the whole NFT space for artists is about to blow up because artists are literally desperate to make money off the music itself. Yeah. We can make money off shows. You know, I can book gigs all day singing, which is great. I thank God. No shade to the rappers out there, but I thank God I'm not a rapper because you can't book as much work. Yeah. As a vocalist, you can sing anywhere and make money, you know, but how are we going to get back to actually making money off the actual music? And I feel like NFTs is the way.
I agree.
I don't really know how yet.
Oh, for sure.
But we're
by having, I think
learning that.
Here's how: by having a strong fan base that's willing to support and invest in your career. And they can do that through NFTs, through smart contracts built in the NFTs to where they can share in your success. So ultimately, the future is going to be like, we don't need record labels no more. Once you have a fan base, the fan base can provide all the capital that you need to invest in your project, and then they can get a return on it built into the smart contract that they bought off the NFT, man. Yeah. It's going to be, that's why they don't want it to happen.
But it has to. I mean, there has to be a change because the amount of money that's made off of streaming is embarrassing, you know? And so we have to get back to giving the artists back. Artists are just so undervalued. Like, it's crazy. And everybody wants more music. We want more music. There's so much music out there right now. Stop wanting more and you're not paying anything.
Right.
It really is crazy. So I'm excited to see where this shift takes us.
Right. So, okay.
What else? Do we have any more money questions?
Any more money questions?
I think that's it.
I was going to say on money, another thing is make sure you understand tax law and reinvest in your business and figure out how to write it off on your taxes.
Okay. No, I'm glad you mentioned that because I imagine that when you are doing your freelancing, it's under LLC, people paying your business or you personally?
I'm a sole proprietorship.
Okay, sole proprietorship, but but it is set up though. Yeah. So are you using an accountant, tax software?
I do it myself.
Okay. Yeah. How you do it? But you use an app?
TurboTax, yeah.
Okay, look, I'll just
keep track.
Some
it's
real
not,
tools, whatever.
I feel like people get scared
Yeah.
of taxes.
So they just don't do it. They just stay away.
Yeah, or they won't even start a business because they're like, I don't want to get an LLC. Okay, don't get one. Right. Start your business.
Right.
Like, or get one, but I think just don't be afraid of that kind of stuff and start your business, start making money, and then worry about taxes. Like,
yeah.
No, but
you don't have to have all your ducks in a row,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to do stuff right because when you're working in this industry a lot, like a lot of times you getting paid cash or and it's so easy to just like put it in your pocket and spend it the next minute. So
there's no record. It never happened.
Exactly.
It never happened.
Yeah. By the time I was in the game making decent money for a while. I went to buy a car. They was like, nah. You don't got no.
You ain't got no credit, brother.
No credit.
You ain't got no taxes.
Got no tax return,
history,
no
nothing.
W-2. I'm like, nah, man, trust me. I get money. Like, nah, we ain't got no proof.
No, sir, we don't trust you. Yeah, no, but that's so true, you guys. Like, don't wait Don't wait.
Get that
If you've
paperwork
been
together.
waiting, stop waiting. This is your sign to stop waiting.
So have you always, like, at what point did you start to, like, kind of legitimize your business, or was it always a thought for you in the forefront to make sure you're doing proper business?
Well, it comes to a certain point in time when you're like making enough money that you're like, I think, it's not just $25 for a mix, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to report this,
Right.
So, but to everyone listening out there, report everything.
Yeah, I mean, no,
But now it's like Cash App and Venmo and
I
all this
know.
stuff, so it's like it's not that hard to figure out how much money you made.
to track it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I like that you said that, a lot of times you feel like you have to wait till you have something substantial to start to, really manage your money and do really great business practices. But if you start now with the little bit that you have, you won't have to learn later when it's like, oh my God, in
That's
your
smart.
lap. And you're like, let me figure this out, So
Stay on top of it. Don't let it get on top
don't let
of
it
you.
creep up. Right. Don't let that monkey get on your back.
So before we transition off the money topic, I kind of want to talk about setting prices as a freelancer, which is something I get asked all the time. And I ain't gonna be one of those people who be like, "Yo, man, how much you charge for a mix and master?" Unless you want to divulge that information, but people like, what's the process for you to setting your prices? Is more like what I'm wanting to get at.
I think it takes a lot of self-awareness.
Yeah.
So you got to know where your skill set is at. And then market knowledge, so you got to know what other people that are similar to your skill level, what are they charging?
Okay.
And a lot of it's marketing too. It's like you were talking earlier about people, it's their first time ever, getting Pro Tools, and now they're charging $60 for an hour for a session. It's like, okay, if you want to do that, fine,
Right.
But
You might price yourself out.
yeah. So there's going to be people that don't want to pay that much, and there's going to be people that are mad at you because they
couldn't win.
paid you and they're like, "This is your first day. What's going on?"
And it sounds like it.
Yeah. So I think, one way how I raised my rates with recording engineer was very natural. It would be like, I started out with whatever the studio was paying me, and then you get another gig and they're like, can you do it for this much? And it's more than you were getting, on the last one. You're like, yeah, I can do that. So then since that's what they offered to pay you, you kind of figure, okay, I'm probably somewhere around that.
This is what I'm worth. I can charge around this. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then if you feel like you've outgrown that rate, like, man, I'm too good to be making $25 an hour.
Right.
Then the next time you get a client, raise your rates.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, when you raise your rates, do you raise them on your old clients too, or just your new clients?
Ooh, that's a hard.
Slowly. I raise them on the old clients slowly.
Yeah.
I don't like being like, guess what? I raised my rates,
Gotcha.
But then it's like, hey, by the way, I raised my rates 6 months ago, and I've been letting you rock for the last 6 months. So
Yes.
now I gotta,
Or you could even let them know, hey, I raised my rates. I'm not raising them on you yet, but gradually. with the
January,
raising-
yeah.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to help make you lose any clients. If they love you and love what you do, I think that, like, respectfully, if unless you double, it was 60, now it was 120.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to say goodbye, but
It depends on what your last project was hitting for, man.
it depends on if you have a Lil Nas X placement.
Hold on, Anna.
We didn't even talk, and a Grammy nomination. Please
Hold
applause.
up, bro.
We should have led with this.
Yeah. Big Grammy. Is this your first Grammy nomination?
No, it's not.
He's like, nah.
He's like, how many times you been nominated?
This is number 6.
Okay, so number 6 nominations. Have you won one yet?
No,
Okay, so
not
this is the
yet.
one?
This
is
is the
gonna
one.
be the
6 times
one.
charm.
This
This
definitely the
is
one.
definitely.
Yeah.
My other homeboy, he got 7 nominations. I ain't trying to wish that on you,
Okay.
He got 7 nominations.
I mean, eventually, is there a Grammy award for like the
How
most
many
nominations without a win? Yeah.
Wait, so
I think
what?
I'm working on it now.
What's your nomination exactly? Like, what's the
category?
category? Yeah.
So, Lil Nas X is nominated for Album of the Year, which is the most
Biggest
prestigious
one?
Grammy there is. So That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm credited as an engineer
on
one song.
On one song.
But
I made it.
the
baby.
new rules with the Grammys are that on Album of the Year, all credited engineers are eligible.
Right, and it's not like that
As
for
nominees.
the other nominations. It's
No,
just
the
album
other
of the
categories,
year.
yeah.
Okay.
I read about that like just the other day.
Wow, so that's huge, man.
Woo, look
I
at
really
God.
hope that that's when it come through, man.
I think it will. Honestly, who else is in the category right now with them?
There's some competition. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm
There's some
sure there
competition.
is.
Justin Bieber and like,
Bieber.
He ain't messing with Lil Nas X this
No,
year, though.
no.
Lil
He
Nas
ain't
X
messing with Lil Nas
owns
X.
the freaking industry right now. I really feel like he's gonna win. And in all honesty, the album is really good. It's a really
What
great
song did you work
album.
on?
it's called "Don't Want It."
Okay. And,
Nice.
And what was your part?
So I recorded vocals. Yeah,
How's
and
it
he's
working
super
with
cool
Lil
to
Nas
work
X?
with too.
Yeah.
What artist is the best? I was gonna say, what artist don't you? Well, nah, we'll never go there.
Right.
Which artist has been like the most best experience or surprising experience, like being in the studio working with?
Well, since we're in St. Louis, I got to give a special shout out to Nelly.
Really?
Nice.
Because he's
Yeah,
in the studio. He's one of the coolest people
Okay,
I've ever met.
I can
Just,
imagine
like,
that.
I
The
can't.
vibes
I'm not
great,
surprised.
just his energy, like, and it's like, oh, I'm in the studio with Nelly. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Hero.
So-
Did y'all chop it up about U City?
Yeah.
Because you and Nelly, he's a little older than you, right?
Yeah.
Probably more few years, but so y'all wasn't in U City at the same time.
Nah, we didn't know each other.
He wasn't like, hey Zach, what's
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
What part of U City you from? What area?
I'm from like Delmar and 170.
Wow.
Okay,
there.
right over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So,
Okay, yeah. So right on that.
and I used
like,
to
border
earlier.
by,
I
like,
used to live right by Jackson Park, and
Yeah, I grew up right across the street from Jackson Park, Henley and Shaftesbury. That's my little
okay.
area right over there. I spent a lot of time on North and South and Shaftesbury.
Nice.
right?
I grew up
Super close to
in
the school.
Hollis, Queens. So
She
yeah.
don't know nothing about
Don't know
U
nothing.
City.
Hollis, Queens, New York.
Yeah, big up.
Big,
to
you know,
Queens,
we all
man.
talk about our childhoods and stuff. I wanted to get into
Okay. Queens get the money.
Queens get the
She's
money.
from 40 Projects.
I
actually.
am
know,
not
can't tell.
from 40. If you don't stop, he loves to say that.
She's from 40
I'm from
Projects.
Hollis, Queens. And all Queens heads know 40 is not in Hollis. So next. All right, last
Right there with
subject.
50 in them.
Southside Jamaica, Queens. All right, let's move on. Last subject is marriage.
Man.
Zach still.
Ooh.
Zach is not married,
Uh-oh.
but that's okay because it doesn't just have to be about marriage. We could chop
Absolutely.
it up a little bit about relationships.
Yeah.
So you are very busy working, which is a blessing and wonderful. How do you juggle? You told us earlier that you were in a relationship and that it is serious.
Yeah.
How do you juggle your relationship life and your work life?
So it's difficult. I feel like for the first decade of my career, I was just obsessed with work, and you kind of have to be,
Yeah.
So I had to pay my dues and get my credits up and figure out the business and everything like that. And then it came to a point where I was like, I'm not getting any younger, so I honestly had to make some changes.
Sorry.
That's part of the reason why I don't really like doing late night sessions anymore and stuff like that. It's like you can't be in a relationship. Well, some people are.
Yeah.
If you could find somebody that's just cool with you never being home, and they might be cool with it. Like
It's a little hard.
Yeah.
That's definitely, if you have that, hold on tight.
yeah,
Yeah.
So what kind of changes did you find that you had to make?
So getting my own studio and focusing on mixing rather than recording, so that I can set my own hours more, and just doing my own thing more has led to more freedom.
Yeah.
It's like I can clock out at 7 p.m. and go see my girl and
Yeah.
get some dinner, or do whatever,
Right.
instead of like it's 7 p.m. now I'm on my way to the studio.
No, those are
Or,
like,
and the worst was canceling dates.
Ugh.
It's like, it's date
Because
night.
they never understand work
No.
or nothing. Like it's not
Oh,
like
man.
ain't nothing you
Never.
can say.
It hurts
Nothing
me.
you can say.
It's like, so it's I gotta go record Sway Lee. Like, sorry,
Sorry, we can't hang out tonight.
Didn't you tell him that we work? I'm like, that's not how it works.
Yeah. Gotta take it, you know.
Gotta take it.
So-
No, that's understandable. You've never had those problems.
To what? I was like, what problems? I haven't? Okay, cool.
I've always been understanding. I'm in the industry too.
Oh.
Right.
No, I'm joking. It's definitely like, I mean, it's a blow. When the date gets canceled, it sucks. But I also, you know, if you have somebody who understands the lifestyle, even though it may be upsetting, you may have a little argument or whatever the case may be, it always blows over because at the end of the day, you understand it's not personal, it's business.
Yeah.
So, but I love what you said about like just being more in control, having your studio at home. You know, those are definitely great changes that still allow you to do what you love, but at the same time, give you that balance.
Yeah.
So that's super dope.
Word.
It's still like unbalanced. You know what I mean? Like,
It's still not
but it's
balanced.
better. It's like
still
you gotta
must be
find what works for you, you know,
Yeah.
and your partner.
Do you think it'll ever be balanced?
I doubt it. I don't know. I mean, it's just like if you own your own business, you just got to do what it takes to make it work, and
Yeah.
you know.
The balance can maybe come when you're like a millionaire.
Yeah, if everything's on
when you have
autopilot,
millions.
Because once you up to that bracket, there's even more.
then you got to get to 10 million.
responsibilities.
Yeah, but
Everything's larger.
But
scale.
you can definitely delegate more because you can afford to hire people, so you
true.
don't
Right.
have to be there.
you can
every-
set your hours.
Yeah,
more.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't got to be mixing all the songs. Somebody else is mixing them, and you getting the credit. I mean, that's how if it eventually gets to a place
Right.
where you can lighten the load.
Yeah, you can get an assistant and
Right.
do, you know.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah, shoot, man. Shout out to my assistants over there, man. I love y'all, man, because I love going home to my kids.
Even if it is at 8:39.
Yeah.
because without her, I couldn't even do that.
But to you, that's balanced, right?
Right.
It's
No, I mean,
like,
it's
if I
okay.
get done working at 9 and can go see my girl, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I did it.
it's a decent hour.
I did that.
If I get this last 30 minutes in before, I'm done at 8:30. Kids go to bed at 9. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be.
And you know what helps to having somebody who has their own thing as well.
Yeah.
So like if I was just sitting at home with the quick kids twiddling my thumbs, I may be a little antsy, but while he's at work, I'm hustling too. Like I got a million things on my plate that I want to accomplish, that I want to achieve, that I got to get done for the day. So I really don't even have the time to be sitting around missing him so much because I'm working
Get
too.
you there, cut.
But that's why we work though. That's why it works because we both have that. So I'm assuming that your girl probably has
Yeah, she has
her own
she has
passion,
plenty of
too.
things she can do if I'm not around.
right.
You know?
So that's great. All right, so the last question of the podcast.
Oh, this the one.
It's not that serious. What are some things that you do to keep the relationship spicy?
Bring flowers.
Ooh, we pointed to the camera on that one.
Maybe not spicy, okay, but
He's like,
yeah,
are flowers?
it's you know,
Must have learned that one from Pops. Okay.
I mean, I think if you set aside time to really focus on your partner and, you know, look at things, do things for them, not just for you, you know, and
That's major.
yeah.
It seems
know,
simple, but that is seriously.
That's why I said the flowers. It's like, you know, do things, you know, just
Right.
it's
because
not
you
it's
don't
not even
care about
it's not
flowers,
because I
but-
want you to know that I'm the guy that brings you flowers. It's because I want you to have that feeling,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, where's the oh?
I knew I had that. in there.
Yeah.
Get that out of here, Jack. You trying to make me look bad. Lydia don't like flowers though.
No, I
Well,
don't.
whatever their love.
Right, whatever they
Read
are
the
into.
read the love languages, 5 love
Yes.
languages.
Oh,
Figure
man.
out what your person
Ooh,
likes.
that's a read the 5 love.
What's the 5 love languages, man? You gotta school me real quick. 'Cause
Ooh.
now,
Okay, I can
I
help
just
you.
know I can tell you
Accents-
gifts,
Gifts, right?
gifts because that's my girls.
Oh, everybody has a different love
Yeah,
language.
exactly.
Yeah,
Okay,
we don't even
so
know each other's love languages. We never did that
I know
together.
your love language.
What is it?
I ain't gonna tell it.
Don't tell them. They're going to look at me different if you tell them. Don't tell them. No, but that's a good idea, too. Read that book. Learn your partner's love languages. Together, it can be fun. Maybe we'll do that within the next couple weeks.
All right, let's try that out.
All right.
I do have one more thing, I guess. Before we go, I would say, as a an engineer, a human being, a person, what was probably some of the best advice that you've ever been given that you'd like to share?
Okay. I had a professor when I was in college tell me, never work for free. He said, you can give somebody a deal, charge half, do whatever it is, but don't work for free. And I think that advice has worked wonders for me. However, I've broken that rule before.
Right.
I mean, the
it's
internship,
understandable.
or
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Wow.
there's times where, I mixed something for somebody for free because he was like, I'm going to give you these 5 mixes after it's for somebody else. I just need this one. Do favors like, the
Be
guy
smart
ended
about
up being the vice president of a big record label. So it's like,
it wasn't for free. You knew what you was going to get out of it.
Yeah.
It just
Right.
wasn't money.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So there you go. But I would say, when people are first starting out too, they're kind of like afraid to charge. They're,
Very
I
scary.
I don't know if I can deliver something that's worth this price. So, okay, we'll just charge what you think it's worth.
Yeah.
And somebody will pay it, and then,
Imposter syndrome is real amongst creatives. We got to get over that because everybody else is charging no matter where you go. You're not going into Walmart walking out with nothing for free unless you're trying to go to
And
jail.
half of their stuff is whack and going to break as soon as you get home.
Exactly.
So you might as
and
well
you
have
don't,
a price.
And you don't even second guess paying for those things.
right.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to us, we supposed to give favors for things that take us hours of our time to do. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
That's mostly for engineers, though. I would say, like,
Singers too.
I think like songwriters, producers, like, you might have to, like, again, though, you're not working for free.
Right.
It's just the payment might be not money.
A different opportunity.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think,
Get paid on the
if
back
you-
end.
Exactly, the
Which
back end.
sometimes turns into no money. That's nothing.
So, I mean, if you're a songwriter or something, you're going to write some songs without being paid. for
You're
sure.
gonna write a lot of songs without being
Yeah.
paid.
Lydia, are you speaking from personal experience?
It's a lot. But there will come a time where you will be able to charge.
Okay.
For sure. But like Zach said, like it's gonna take some time out the gate. This your first song. Ain't nobody gonna pay you for it. It's just
But
how
they
it
should
is.
still give you your percent, though.
Right. Even if it turns into nothing.
Hey,
You still get a percent.
that's a fact. The real Zach Steele, where can people find you and maybe contact you?
You can find me on Instagram, The Real Zach Steele. You can book me. If you find me anywhere, you can book me.
Yes, sir.
But I'm on soundbetter.com.
Nice.
We'll put the link in the description, right?
Yep.
And or we could put my socials down there too.
For
But
sure. We'll drop
I'm on
all that.
Instagram, TikTok.
Instagram,
Yeah,
Sound better.
Sound Better.
Make sure y'all tap in with Zach Steele, man. We got a lot of engineers out here that's super dope. I feel like y'all not getting enough flowers and credits in the game. We always talking about the artists, which is dope because that's what they do. But wouldn't none of that be possible without you, man?
We
so
need
hats
each other.
off to
Thank you.
everything that you've brought to the industry, man.
This podcast is your
For sure.
flowers from us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach Steele. Thank
you for
everybody.
tuning in.
Thank you, Sweetwater.com, for sponsoring this episode.
This has been the Married to Music podcast.
Yes, indeed.
Hey.
We out of here.
Married to music.
That's Lydia on that track.
Oh yeah.
Gonna give us an
Tune in
acapella?
every Monday.
No, I'm not. We're trying to get our M's up.
Hey, y'all ain't know I was quick with the fader.
Monday. Married to music.
Hey, y'all be dope out
All
there.
right.